What's up, Taiwan? I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. U.S. lawmakers are pushing for Taiwan President Tsai to attend the APEC leaders meeting in San Francisco. In a letter sent to U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, 21 House Republicans urged the State Department to invite Tsai to November's summit, saying Taiwan is a critical partner of the U.S. and should get fair and equal treatment. APEC, composed of 21 Pacific Rim economies, is one of the few international organizations that Taiwan is a member of, although the country can only participate under the name Chinese Taipei and is blocked from sending high-level government officials to attend due to opposition from China. For the past several years, TSMC founder Morris Chang has represented Taiwan at the leaders' meeting. Taiwan Foreign Minister Joseph Wu says the country is still discussing its attendance this year.
经济体的这个领袖的会议，那我们也会跟其他的国家来做最好的这个协商和最好的安排。
Taiwanese chip giant TSMC has reported a 2% growth in net profit for the first quarter of the year, beating expectations. The data comes despite Asia's most valuable company battling with slower global demand and its concerns over its U.S. investments mount. James Chater reports.
Taiwanese chip giant TSMC has posted a surprise rise in its first quarter profit. The maker of 90% of the world's most advanced chips, the brains of modern devices, saw net income rise 2.1% to around $6.7 billion, but revenue fell 4.8% on the same period last year to $16.7 billion.
As our first quarter business was impacted by weakening macroeconomic conditions and softening end market demand, which led customers to adjust their demand accordingly.
But it's not just weaker global demand for electronics that Apple's main chip supplier is contesting with. Governments around the world are trying to lure TSMC to their country as they seek to shore up electronics supply chains. Tensions with China, which claims Taiwan as its own territory, has only accelerated their efforts. In the US, TSMC is building 2 factories in Arizona, a total investment of $40 billion. But making chips in the US is far more expensive than in Taiwan, and the Wall Street Journal this week reported that TSMC was pushing back against conditions of the investment. Concerns include sharing profits and TSMC's client books with the US government.
It's Tsai.
At a Taipei dinner attended by Taiwan's president and other senior business figures, the new chair of the American Institute in Taiwan sought to allay chip companies' concerns.
Let me emphasize this point. Our attracting Taiwan investment to the United States does not come at the expense of Taiwan, just as our supporting U.S. investment in Taiwan does not come at the expense of the United States.
TSMC's position at the forefront of global chip making is far from being under threat, but its most recent data shows it's not immune to the dual demands of geopolitics and economics. Ricky and James Chater for TaiwanPlus.
A firewoman in Taiwan's northern Yilan County was forced to resign after being sexually harassed at work. The fire department says this response was appropriate according to protocols. Joyce Tsai reports on the issue of sexual harassment in Taiwan's workplaces.
Don't use your emotions as your defense. That's what this firefighter was told by her superior after she was sexually harassed at work. The victim, surnamed Peng, was forced to resign over the harassment she had suffered. She's now taking her former employers to court over their response. Peng has been suffering from acute traumatic stress because of the incident, which took place last year when a colleague broke into her bedroom.
加害者他知道我是在洗澡的情况下，他偷潜入我的寝室，所以我在没有穿衣服、毫无防备之下开门，然后直接撞见加害者。
Peng had asked her supervisors at the Yilan Fire Department for leave to seek help for the stress she was experiencing. But this request was rejected, even though Peng was willing to go unpaid for that time. It was only when she was hospitalized for the mounting stress that the fire department granted her leave.
为什么这个上级机关可以直接凌驾法条，要说要住院证明，甚至要医生拍这个被害人在住院的样子？
According to Taiwan's health ministry, sexual harassment complaints around the country have more than doubled in the last 5 years, with most cases happening at work. Taiwan's notably intense workplaces often prioritize employer interests above all else. It's a culture where working overtime and even some weekends to make up for public holidays is normal. Anti-sexual assault advocate Wang Shufen from the Garden of Hope Foundation says harassment victims who speak up are often treated as nuisances, and victim blaming is still a common occurrence.
还是有一个责怪被害人的一个倾向，那他可能会把被害人视为一个 troublemakers， 他都希望是大事化小，小事化无，因为他可能会影响公司或主管的一些声誉之类的。
This is precisely the culture advocates like Wang are trying to change.
那只有这个被改变，我们的被害人才会勇于发声，然后去揭露出加害人。那也要让被害人很清楚知道，这些事件不是他们的错。
Though laws against sexual harassment exist in Taiwan, victim-blaming culture and unforgiving labor customs make it hard for people to fully know their rights. While more victims like Peng are coming forward, her case highlights how much farther Taiwan has to go to address workplace harassment. Howard Zhang and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is marking its first Gender Equality Education Day. It's named after a landmark law passed in 2004. The government has orchestrated a series of exhibitions focused on period poverty. Period poverty refers to a lack of menstrual products and education about them. Starting August, Taiwanese students of all ages will be able to receive free hygiene products. Taiwan's Gender Equality Education Act also requires schools to protect LGBTQ students and hold lessons on gender equality. It passed nearly 19 years ago after years of campaigning by activists. In recent years, Taiwan has launched a number of programs to address the stigma around menstruation. The latest move comes from National Taiwan University, which is working to enhance education about periods. Harassment Hughes has this story.
Every month, 1.8 billion people across the world menstruate. But in many countries, periods are still considered shameful and secretive. The stigma can prevent people from seeking medical attention, and it's used to justify exclusion from health research.
For centuries and centuries, it's just something that women have, not talked about, that proper society doesn't talk about. We keep it to ourselves. And what's actually started to emerge is that menstruation and menstrual health can cause real live issues, harm for women in this country, all around the world.
In Taiwan, there have been moves to change the stigmatization around periods. This includes improving education and addressing the costs involved. National Taiwan University in Taipei has taken this a step further, offering classes about menstruation.
当我们可以开始开口谈月经，甚至开始去接受月经的这个更广泛的教育的时候，其实那是我们一个社会进步的象征。
This is the latest push by Taiwan to address period poverty and stigma. Following the lead of several other countries in Asia, Taiwan started offering up to 3 days of leave per year for menstrual symptoms. The country also launched an initiative to provide menstrual products to anyone in need at Taipei's busiest MRT stations. All you have to do is ask. Rick E. and Harassment Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
K-pop star Moonbin has died at the age of 25. He was a member of the group Astro and was also part of a subgroup called Moonbin and Senha. Moonbin was reportedly found unresponsive in his apartment late on Wednesday by his manager. His record label later confirmed his death with a statement that read, "Moonbin suddenly left us and has now become a star in the sky." The company did not specify the cause of death and has asked the public to refrain from what it called speculative and malicious reports. News of the idol's death has caused an outpouring of support and condolences from fans around the world. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. I'm Ethan. Take care, and I'll see you next time.